Hi, it's Thursday and welcome to the daily video blog that we've been doing now for nearly 5 weeks. We've got again some guests today who are going to talk about youth activities based around Wendover, very much sort of in the centre of the county. But before I introduce them, I've just got two things I want to just say in terms of bits of news headlines. First of all, we put out an appeal probably about 4 weeks ago now for volunteers to help us in the county, particularly in terms of delivering food, keeping in touch with people who are more vulnerable or socially isolated. And we've had a fantastic response to that. So we have now 1,700 people who've come forward across the county to help us as volunteers. And I just want to thank everybody really very much who've volunteered like that. But we don't need any more at the moment. So actually, we're going to just draw a line in terms of wanting more volunteers at the moment. It's not that we don't appreciate the effort, but we actually have the work for about 1,700. We don't have any more requirements. So thanks for that, and we will obviously keep in touch with the existing volunteers. The second thing I wanted to say was we had a speaker on earlier this week talking about composting, Andrew Jenkins from the county's waste team, and he advertised the fact that there were compost bins available at a discounted price, and we linked that when we put it out on social media. Just to say the take-up has been phenomenal. We had something like 500 bins go very quickly. And as a result, if you click on that now, you'll probably find that the stock is unavailable. I've spoken to Andrew. He's going to try and get more stock into the scheme. That might take a few days. So if you are keen to have a new compost bin, and I hope you are, please be patient. We will try and restock the site, but it may take a little bit of time. So having said that, I'm going to hand over to two key players locally. We have Peter Swinford, who's involved with the Wendover Youth Action, and he has a colleague, George, who's also going to participate, who I gather was one of the initiators of the work they're doing there. So, Peter, over to you.
Thank you, Martin. So I'm Pete Swinford. I'm the lead youth worker at Wendover Youth Centre. We're a charity, and we've been working together during this time with St Mary's Church and the young people Wendover who attend our youth clubs to see how we can benefit and support the community through this pandemic. The young people we work with came up with two ideas to help the community: a pen pal scheme and a food parcel scheme, where they write letters and prepare food parcels to the individuals and families who are most vulnerable, lonely and isolated during these times. We identified these people through our connections in the community, in Wendover, the church, the centre, and those who are isolating and need support. I'm going to hand over in a minute to George. He's a young person who came to us at the start of this lockdown and stated that he and some other young people wanted to do something to help the community. He will now explain the food parcel and pen pal scheme and the benefits that it's had to them and to the community. So George, over to you, mate.
So yeah, with the pen pal scheme, we simply try to reach out to people in the community who we identified as potentially being isolated. And we do this by simply sending a letter. And whilst it's quite simple, we think it's really useful just to check in and with the other people in your community who might be struggling and not able to see their friends and do the activities that they'd usually enjoy. We run it by simply emailing our letters over to Pete and Becky at the youth centre. They then read them and check they're okay, and then get them delivered to the individuals. And then when the individual sends a letter back, Pete and Becky check what they've said, and then just forward it on to us and back and forth. And the food parcel scheme works by us all brainstorming what might be needed, as well as wanted, by someone who's struggling to get out. And then in a group, we try and source an item in our weekly shops. This then minimises the amount of extra journeys that we need to do. Becky and Pete collect the items from our doorstep and sanitize them for giving the parcels to the people in our community that we feel needing it in this cycle. As young people, we thought both these schemes help keep us connected to the community, but also keeps people who are isolated in touch with their whole community. So for that, it's really good serving a double purpose. But I think if you have an opportunity to help with anything, it's really good just to offer a hand and show some support. And whilst you can usually walk through your village or your town and see all sorts of people, That's a lot harder now, but by carrying on to talk to other people in the village, it's helping to keep the community spirit and send a positive message for when we return back to normality.
Okay, thanks, George. Yeah, so just to finish off, really, if you are from Wendover or the surrounding villages or area, and you know someone who may be feeling isolated and may benefit from receive a letter, then please get in touch. And the same that if you are or you know a young person who would like to write a letter or be part of either of these schemes, then just email me at peter@wendoveryouth.co.uk. You can also look at our Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, which is also the Wendover Youth Centre. And I would just say, like, overall, pen pal and food schemes have been great. And I would encourage, if you are from youth organisations or in communities around Bucks, and you would like to maybe try and do either the food parcel scheme or pen pal scheme, get in contact with me and I can give you advice on how we set it up. And yeah, really just want to spread how much it's really impacted the community. So yeah, back to you, Martin.
Thanks very much, Peter and George. That's fantastic. Just to say, you know, I can remember being a teenager and how important it was to actually be in touch with your friends and just getting out and socialising. So it's particularly tough on teenagers, I think, this lockdown. So I think the work you're doing is absolutely fantastic. And what I'd encourage anybody watching who either has teenagers themselves or is a teenager or maybe involved in youth activities is to get in touch with Peter and actually understand how he's operating there. And it may be something you want to pick up and run with on a similar pattern locally in your own part of Buckinghamshire. So thanks very much for that. Just before I sign off, just to remind everybody, tonight is Thursday, 8 o'clock. It's Clap for Carers. That is obviously our fantastic frontline NHS workers, but also really importantly behind the scenes, the people in the care homes, the people who keep collecting the waste and all the other public servants who actually help keep life manageable at the moment. So 8 o'clock, I'll be out there clapping. I hope you will be too. As always, stay safe, stay well, and see you tomorrow.